candidate, that is Raila Odinga, in his bid to succeed the outgoing chairperson, Musa Faki Mahamat. Here's John Jacob Curia with the details.
State House, Nairobi. Raila Odinga's journey to Addis Ababa is officially kicking off. The state rolling out the red carpet for Raila as he enjoyed a protected convoy. To build support around his candidature, Kenya had invited East African community heads of state and government for the official unveiling. And one by one, Presidents Yoweri Museveni of Uganda, Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania, Salva Kiir of South Sudan, who doubles up as the East African Community Chairperson, the Prime Minister of Burundi, Gervais Dirakubucha, and Rwanda's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in charge of regional cooperation, James Kabarebe, trooped to the unveiling arena. Somalia had sent its envoy in Nairobi, while the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has also promised to back Raila, was the only nation not represented. President Ruto, while unveiling Raila, termed him a visionary Pan-African with the ideal credentials to lead the AU Commission.
He embodies extensive experience and a deep understanding of both African affairs and global dynamics, which are crucial for leading the African Union further into the center of global affairs and closer to the hearts of the African people.
I am made in Eastern Africa for Africa. I have said that I'm an Afro-optimist as opposed to Afro-pessimist. Afro-pessimists are those people who have given up on Africa, who say Africa is a lost cause.
The head of state, while pledging support for the entire campaign, said the former premier would continue to champion for reforms in the African Union, including multilateral institutions under it.
I know that Honorable Raila not only possesses the requisite credentials, but he is also the ideal candidate to lead the African Union Commission. Accordingly, Kenya endorses his candidature unreservedly, and we commit wholeheartedly to support his candidature, his vision, and his leadership.
But I'm here as the African lion. I've been asleep in the jungles of the Congo, but now I'm awake, and I'm sitting on African gold, African oil, African diamonds, African iron and copper ores. I'm sitting on African bauxite. I'm sitting on African lithium and coltan and uranium. And I have the ability to transform all these materials that I have into wealth for the benefit of my people.
We are here, Your Excellency, as a country to unveil Kenya's finest to go and lead Africa.
The East African leaders endorsing Raila not only hailed his Pan-African record, but his vast knowledge on geopolitical dynamics.
It is with all this in mind that the government of the United Republic of Tanzania endorses the candidature of Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga for the position of chairperson of the African Union Commission.
As a chairman of the East Africa community, I strongly appeal to the region to rally behind Right Honorable Odinga and adopt him as the region's candidate.
Let us show the world that Africa is ready to take its destiny into its own hands, to speak with one voice, and to work together for a betterment of all our people by electing Honorable Raila Odinga as chairman of the African Union Commission,
we need a person at this critical stage of our development in Africa. But at this situation, the present situation of the world, where we have a fractured world.
I wish you the very best, and I'm sure if you get that position, Africa will get the best.
We are all aware that Mr. Raila Odinga has gone through a lot and has the respect of the entire continent.
But it was President Museveni who had a more hard-hitting statement after dismissing the Djibouti candidate, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, as an inexperienced candidate on matters Pan-Africanism.
Before he came, there was a young man from Djibouti. He came. The young man I normally see him that he's a minister. He came and told me that he was the one who was the candidate for Djibouti. Of course, I greeted him well. We took photographs. We had a cup of tea. But I told him, I said, no. Actually, I told him that I was coming here to support Right Honorable Raila because he's a candidate who is fit for this job.
Raila's campaign secretariat will be led by his close confidant Elkanah Odembo and Foreign Affairs PS Korir Sing'oei.
Well, we were live and there was quite the speeches. There were quite the speeches that were made yesterday. And if you're watching it live, there was also a bit of a technical hitch while we were trying to play that video at the start there, where actually it formed a form of conversation and a light moment, especially on social media with social users. Some even alluding to the fact that, you know, someone might actually be out of a job after that particular official unveiling there. Well, in case you missed it, we were live. You can always go back to our YouTube channel on yesterday's date and have a feel of exactly what was said by whom. Now, back home, Azimio Coalition Co-Principal Kalonzo Musyoka has declared himself as the official opposition leader following the launch of Raila Odinga's campaign for the African Union Commission chairperson seat. Speaking at SKM Center alongside other Azimio Alliance parties, affiliate parties, Kalonzo said the coalition will remain intact despite Odinga's exit from the political arena as he pursues the continental role.
Embarks on this new chapter, the Azimio Coalition remains steadfast with a firm commitment and shared objectives of addressing the issues of concern to our people. We continue to advance the people's agenda for the socio-economic and political transformation and always build on the foundations laid by our leader.
We have the responsibility, of course, as he exits the Rokosh scene, to ensure that the part of the Constitution that requires a vibrant opposition is kept going. And under the leadership of our official leader of opposition, Mheshimiwa Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, and all those here and many others who are not here. We believe that we have that responsibility as part of ensuring that the Constitution of 2010 is implemented.
If he was still actively participating in politics in Kenya, and that is to keep checks and balances in the excesses of the government, we will ensure, as those who are remaining in opposition, that we fight for Kenyans. We will ensure that the government, that which they promised, is in.
Well, that was yesterday, and we're going to be keeping tabs on what happens now in the local political scene with that particular declaration by Kalonzo Musyoka, as he being the head of the opposition, official opposition in the country, as well as now the official, shuttle diplomacy that is expected, to just, enhance or rather intensify after that particular unveiling. Yesterday was day 2 of the KUPPET strike, and the Employment and Labour Relations Court has temporarily suspended the ongoing teachers' strike called by the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers. Now, the Teachers Service Commission had moved to court, arguing that concerns raised by the striking teachers had already been addressed. This as the government says all teachers in public schools will by the end of this week get their July and August salary increment after it released 13.5 billion shillings as part of the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreement. Here's Frederick Pasayo with the details.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET has suffered a setback after the Employment and Labour Relations Court suspended the ongoing strike by its members, who majority are secondary school teachers. The Teachers Service Commission had moved to court to challenge the action, claiming the demands raised by the teachers, among them access to medical cover, career progression guidelines and promotions, are already being addressed administratively. While giving the ruling, Justice James Rika ordered the teachers to stop the industrial action. The case will be mentioned on September 5th for further directions. This is Education CS Julius Ogamba says the government is engaging KUPPET in resolving the matter so that learning could continue smoothly across the country.
These issues are administrative in nature. In fact, it is not in the CBA. What was in the CBA was the payment. That has been done. But these are legitimate issues that they have and which the government is responding to.
The CS said the government will employ 20,000 teachers by the end of the year.
Government will employ an additional 20,000 teachers by the end of the year to ease the shortage of staff in public schools.
But as the government assured the parents and learners of a possible breakthrough, KUPPET members and KISI remain adamant on resuming duty until the Employer Teacher Service Commission adheres to their demands fully.
Walimu wa KISI kaunti wa shule za upili na HSS tumesema tuende kasini. Haya maneno ambayo wanasema ya kwamba sisi kama walimu tumelipwa pesa ya CPA ilikuwa maneno ya mdomo tupu.
So was the situation in Narok town after teachers scattered activities along Narok-Bomet highway.
Teachers of Narok did not go to school as they heeded the advice from the union. Today, we are now moving around the town. We are bringing the town to a standstill.
And in Embu County, KUPPET members stormed Embu East Sub-County offices to present their grievances.
We would wish the government to actually do as directed by the courts. The court pronounced itself. It is said that the JS teachers should be confirmed into permanent and pensionable basis.
And the same was replicated in Trans Nzoia County after teachers vowed not to step in class until all of their demands are met by the Employers Teacher Service Commission.
Sasa tafadhali au nawaona hapa ni walimu wa sekondari. Wakati unatuma mtoto wako shule ujue ya kwamba hayuko katika mikono yetu. Sisi tuko nyumbani na sisi tuko barabarani.
Well, that was just a recap of what had transpired earlier in the day before that decision by the courts to, give a stay on matters of the KUPPET strike there. So we're waiting to see if by end of week, indeed, government will honor its promise there to release salaries for June and July as per the CBA of 2021. Still in the courts is that a Milimani Magistrate Court has given a man charged with conspiring to defraud a parcel of land worth 0.6 billion shillings with a 5 million shillings bond. The accused Francis Mohoho Ndinguri, who pleaded not guilty, was also charged with 2 other counts, among them falsely presenting himself as the director of Mesa Langton Investment Limited. Details of this in our Scales of Justice segment with Ruth Wamboy.
Appearing before Senior Principal Magistrate Mother Ananzoshi Tuesday, Mo said he did not conspire to steal the 22-acre piece of land located along the Northern Bypass Road.
Hilo ni la dhamana ya bilioni 1,619,700 ambayo ni mali ya Langton Investment Limited.
The court was informed that on 24th February last year, a certain certificate of registration was forged and purported to be the one belonging to Mesa Langton Investment Limited. According to the prosecution, a provincial certificate of title was also doctored.
I'll also give you the option of giving us 2 sureties security that comes to the 5 million. In the alternative, you will give us a cash bail of 1 million.
Pre-trial conference is set for 10 September. Elsewhere, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation has been given the green light to hold a suspect for 3 days as they had requested.
Ombi langu ni kuwa mshukiwa aweze kuwa katika kituo cha polisi cha Capitol Hill kwa siku ambazo ni 3 kumaliza uchunguzi wetu.
Investigating officer Peter Githinji told trial magistrate Martha Nanzoshe that Edward Otundo smuggled concealed goods in a truck which need to be subjected to forensic analysis. The miscellaneous application will be mentioned on 30th August. Ruth Wamboi for Good Morning Kenya.
That takes us to matters business, where the private sector, which has been instrumental in driving the growth of Kenya's ICT sector, is calling for more proactive measures from the government to safeguard the country's digital infrastructure. Baobab Managing Director Sylvia Anampio noted that facilitating efficient policy reforms will encourage infrastructure sharing to enhance efficiency and reduce costs across board. Trevor Ngendo with the details.
Recent undersea cable disruptions have exposed the fragility of Kenya's digital infrastructure, which private players in the ICT sector now want to address by developing a national long-distance fiber network through the railway line from Mombasa to Malaba.
Eliminating the digital divide is the hurdle, the task that we must surmount, each in our own ways and according to our capacity to deliver Kenya's digital promise and broadband.
Strategic integration of terrestrial and undersea cables in Kenya creates a more resilient and redundant network, reducing the risk of service interruptions.
But this is not just for us in Kenya. This is a regional solution. And we're excited because the industry has been challenged, really, to roll out more fiber in partnership with the government. And so this is a bold step. 1,000 kilometers of fiber, my friends, is not a small deal.
This 1.7 billion shillings alternative route for data transmission network by Baobab, they believe, will enhance redundancy and reduce the country's dependence on vulnerable undersea cables. However, the biggest hurdle they want addressed is the high cost of operation, among other policy reforms, in order to make Kenya competitive.
Our cable runs across multiple counties in the country. So we'll have the wayleave charged by Kenya, let's say, by Kenya Railways, and then we'll have the county of Mombasa, for example, the county of Kiambu, the county of Nairobi, charging the same wayleave. So we are having some sort of double charging, making business really expensive.
The government hopes to connect up to 100,000 kilometers of cable network in the next 3 years, with 48,000 kilometers from the private sector.
Now to agriculture. Kenya plans to halve its rice imports in the next 5 years through cultivation of new hybrid rice varieties. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Andrew Karanja says Kenya has partnered with several African countries to share seeds and crucial rice production information under a 6.4 billion shillings South Korea-funded program.
Kenya imported 937,000 tons of rice worth 55 billion shillings in 2023 to cover the nearly 80% deficit. The government says it now plans to reduce rice imports by 50% in the next 5 years through increased production. Kenya has signed a memorandum of understanding with other 37 African countries to exchange rice seed varieties and crucial rice information.
Lifestyles change. We are moving from maize and the urbanization. Mostly households are moving to rice. And that is why you see the demand is rising. And our capacity to produce, yes, we have the potential to produce more, but currently we are not able to satisfy our production. Our production is not able to satisfy. Actually, it is about 15%, 20%.
The MOU is under a South Korea-funded program that will see Kenya receive 4 billion shillings for rice development and production.
The development of agricultural science and technology will surely help to promote African economy as well.
Korea is a perfect example for us, is because even then they don't have big farms. They have very small farms, but very high productivity because of using certified seed and very intensive management systems.
Already, 28 rice varieties have been developed, with Kenya ready to roll out 3 hybrid varieties in rice-growing regions.
As Calro, we are going to produce seed, or basic seed, which now can go to private sector who can produce certified seed extensively for use across the country.
Kenya's per capita rice consumption is expected to hit 30 kgs by 2027 from the current 28 kgs, raising the demand to an estimated 2 million tons from the current average of 1 million tons annually.
Now, legal proceedings related to Old Mutual Holdings PLC will not affect services rendered by other entities within the Old Mutual Group, including honoring insurance claims as well as investment services.
In the matter before court, the petitioner claims that the minority shareholders have been denied access to important company records, including financial statements, minutes of board meetings, and other documents. The petition also seeks to have Old Mutual Holdings Limited liquidated under the provisions of the Companies Act and the Insolvency Act.
This is a dispute at a shareholder level. It doesn't impact our staff and how operations continue.
This follows the sale of the Tanzanian subsidiary last month. Acknowledging the court order, Oginga affirmed it only affects Old Mutual Holdings PLC, while other entities continue with normal operations.
We will continue to pay claims as usual, and I think that is what makes for a business that has investor confidence and customer confidence.
At the same time, the group has rolled out a capacity-building initiative targeting smallholder businesses.
We are bringing onto this entire place, onto this ecosystem, things that SMEs need around risk mitigations, around investments, around insurance.
Both ourselves as well as our competitors, reinsurers, are working quite hard to try and find solutions around agriculture,
towards making insurance products attractive to MSMEs.
To sports, a VetLab Sports Club duo of Edward Mwangi and Mary Carano is looking forward to the grand finale of the NCBA Golf Series set for November this year. The pair won the hotly contested Division 1 category, which attracted 224 players at the latest leg of the NCBA Golf Series, securing tickets for the grand finale set for November.
Playing off handicap 12, Edward Mwangi managed to take the top spot at the latest leg of the NCBA Golf Series after garnering 46 points ahead of Suneru Parmar, who posted 38 points. Mary Carano topped the ladies Division 1 category with 36 points, playing off handicap 12 as well. In Division 2, Kennedy Mariga's 41 points saw him clinch top honors in the men's category, with Rachel Day playing off handicap 15, emerging victorious in the ladies category. Benjamin Chemweno was the overall winner in Division 3 with 41 points, playing off handicap 31 with Parv Karvia, handicap 9, joining the list of the junior golfers set to play at the grand finale after topping the junior category on 30 points. Handicap 10 James Mbui finished first in the guest category after picking 39 points, while handicap 32 Eric Nabutola was the staff winner with 41 points. Meanwhile, NCBA Group has entered into a strategic partnership with Yen Golf aimed at enhancing the golfing experience for enthusiasts across the region and empowering entrepreneurs through golf skill building and networking opportunities. The collaboration, facilitated through Yen Africa Golf Program, Yen Golf seeks to provide exclusive discounts to golfers and promote active lifestyles through the sport of golf. And boys 13 to 14 years winner Justin Ngeera played an impressive 1 over par 73 to win the NCBA US Kids Tournament. Ngeera played 39 on the front 9 and an impressive 34 on the back 9 to win the category with a score of 73 that included 5 birdies. Peter Gadhogo finished second with a score of 76, with Yuvraj Rajput closing the top 3 with a score of 78. In the boys 12 years category, Palash Tank and Jeff Ekivi tied with a score of 80, forcing the only playoff of the day. Palash won the playoff to be ranked first and collected the previous winner's 30 points. Murithi Gatu finished third with a score of 83, 3 strokes off the top 2 players. In the boys 11, Adam Nesbitt was impressive with a winner's score of 79 in a category that attracted 9 players. Sichao Huang finished second with a score of 83 as Alexandra Mbuga ended up third with a score of 87.